watch this with you guys. I got to a point where Sleuthy came on and she started talking about what Lauren did, striking her channel. And I thought, oh, she's one of those bitches that does that to people where it's in fair play use, but she gets even down and dirty. Lauren gets even dirtier. She goes the extra mile so that she can't use her content. So just listen. Because there is a fair play use that is in where if you don't have this video copyrighted, if you don't go and have each and every video copywritten, then we are allowed to take this content and cut it up and use it for commentary and stop and start it. That's fair play use, and add our thoughts and, add some oomph, some salt and pepper to it and make it into a whole new content. It's under fair play use, but Lauren scooted that and got around that. So we'll hear all about that.
I think she'll be coming back. So we are going to be getting into this hidden true crime situation. It's one of those things where I was like, there we go with the Halloween. I love the picture.
I love it. It's cute.
I'm normal now. Joining us, Sleuthy. You are the real MVP with putting together this spreadsheet. So thank you so much, because
it's outrageous. I want to get a t-shirt that has Lauren's face and then it says rules for me and not thee, and then XO Lauren Turd, because in that 4-hour thing that Dr. John and her did, they did the analogy of Brad Pitt and Angelina, but I've been saying all along, no. This reminds me of the Amber Turd Johnny Depp saga, and my friends, Lauren is Lauren Turd for sure. And so I want that t-shirt because she wants all these rules and regulations for others, but not for her, not for thee.
It was just too much to kind of go through the 9-hour thing, and then it wasn't as accessible right away. So the way that you put this together in the little time that you had, like, I don't know how you do it.
I was up till like 2:30. It was because it needed to be redacted.
I'm really impressed with people who have the ability to do stuff like this, because my organization skills are all over the place. So when people do these things and then they're happy to share it with others, just for, like, I'm sure they want to be called out, which is completely reasonable. And, we call out everybody. And in fact, we go above and we put the links down in the show notes. So, I mean, and if anybody ever wants to use any of my stuff, yeah, use it. I don't, it's out there. I'm not a gatekeeper for information. I'm also not here to tell you how to feel either. And I think Lauren and Dr. John want to tell us how to feel. And they're mad and they're trying to shame us for not feeling the way that they think we should feel. And that pisses me off.
Redacted. If it didn't need to be redacted, then it wouldn't have been a big deal. And I was like, I don't want any more documents unless they come redacted.
Well, thank you so much for putting it together. And yeah, I've been going through it, and I was like, I don't even know where to start tonight. I don't want to read the declarations out loud. I won't do that to you guys. There's a lot of channels that are doing that. So I figure, more power to them.
I've decided not to read those too, because a lot of channels are doing them. I just go into chats and enjoy those I've decided not to do those too, but they are good. They're a good read and a good listen. And I urge you to, and I will put Sleuthy Goosey's link down in the show notes as well. So if you want to go on your own and do all this, you can.
Through them. And honestly, like, I would rather listen to someone else read it than me read it. Cause I feel like when I'm reading it live, I'm not absorbing it the same way. I did have an idea to put it through my Chat GPT and have them read it. But the only thing that I started with, because it was 13 pages in itself, was Christina's declaration. Christina is the quote stalker of Lauren.
You can refer to her as the respondent, because that's who she is legally.
Okay, I'll try
that way. Yeah, that way, because I know you don't like calling her that.
Right. And the thing is, like, first off, I want to start off by saying my initial response to this situation was empathy and sympathy, but I had only watched the first 10 minutes when I was like kind of sending the link out. I think I sent it to you, Jen Lu, too, and I was like,
she
have you
did.
seen this?
Yes, and I remember exactly what you said. I feel awful.
Same, me too. I was telling you guys yesterday, I texted Amber from Into the Weeds podcast, and I was like, oh my gosh, have you seen this? This is like one of my biggest fear, having a stalker. And I hadn't listened to the whole thing. I'd woken up to it and just heard bits and pieces, and her and I discussed it a little bit. And then I went back and I noticed Chase for Justice was going over it. And I was listening to it. I was starting to think, this doesn't seem like a stalking situation. And then I decided I'm gonna watch this over on Jay's. And yeah, I wasn't the only one. So I mean, the same thing happened with me with the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case in the beginning. I had sympathy for Gypsy until I read everything and I figured it out for myself, and I figured out who she really was. And I think that's what's happening with our Lauren Turd is her bad deeds are coming to play. And I the first time I said this, I don't think they want this can of worms opened, but it's opened, and they doubled down. They said, bitches, we're doubling down. And they did. They did in a 3.5 hour live. We went over it this morning. So I guess we're in this for the long haul.
I feel bad for her, but then I was like, but I still am like, why isn't Law and Crime allowed to do their job when that's her job in murder cases and stuff, you know? So that was kind of where I stood at first. But at first, I for sure was like hooked with feeling like, wow, you know, this must be some situation. Again, this is before I watched more. This is before I seen who this stalker was, because then Teresa from Criminality sent me this TikTok page of this woman, this brunette girl, and I'm like, what, like, sent her a question mark, I think, and she's like, that's the stalker. And I was like, what? and the more I started going through it, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, this looks like a falling out between two friends, and one of them is afraid of what the other one might come out and
No, Dr. John just gave us a 3.5 hour live and told us all about stalking. And this is stalking. This is, you know, he produced 18 books. He thumped up on our head and told us we're too stupid. So he'll tell us. And if we don't follow along with it, we're of the criminal element, probably.
say to ruin their reputation that they've built.
Bingo.
Ding, ding, ding.
Mhm.
Bingo.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
thank
initial
you, Denise.
reaction was not that.
I want to hear it. Tell me.
My initial reaction was, this is pretty transparent to me that there's something that she's trying to get ahead of, and we're saying all the buzzwords, and we're throwing our 8-year-old into it, and we're doing all the crying. And when she said that,
John probably has to talk, so she'll take his balls out of her purse and give them back to him at the end of the live. Talk, or you won't get your balls back.
she dropped it, but she was doing the live because she's doing what's right to protect her family. She lost me with that, because I've needed a protective order, and the last thing that I would have done,
Slap in the face to everybody that's ever needed a personal protection order,
was cancel it and then go public and talk about it to further provoke the person that I say that I'm scared of, and have zero protection at that point, not even the temporary order. And the more that I heard from her, and then the more once I started reading these documents,
no
I was
protection right now, and it's quite clear that Dr. John thought that it was the Idaho courts. They couldn't grasp the idea of what stalking really is, so they need to take it to a different state. Which, I mean, what's the other state they're going to take it to? They would have to take it to Nevada, wouldn't they? Because or would they take it to Colorado, where she showed up at CrimeCon? Like, what is he talking about? I didn't understand quite that part, but like, you can tell he's really disgusted with Idaho for saying this basically is not stalking. And so they read the room there and knew that they weren't going to get like the answer they wanted from the court. So suddenly she's safe without a stalking personal protection order, and it's safe for her to do all these lives. And makes no sense to do a 9-hour live, to go on that other live, Duty Ron, and then Grayson go on a live, and then go behind a paywall and do whatever they do on behind their paywall live, and then do another 3.5-hour live. And meanwhile, Christina has done nothing. Blink, 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 blink.
That's exactly what's happening. And the number of times that she literally went to where this person was specifically to like get within her personal space so that she could then say that she's being stalked, being harassed, that the temporary orders being violated. The whole thing just made me sick. The only reason I did this and put all these things together was because of someone, like I said, that has needed one before. It made me sick to see all of it.
I'm so glad you did this though, Sleuth, because this is what I wanted to see. And Amber, if you don't want to read them, I was thinking I've been on the fence about playing the audio and then doing reading the exhibits and the declarations. But if people want to hear it, I would be willing to do it.
Also, I feel like there's so much gaslighting in this case that all of us just need to lasso our lassos around the truth and hold on for dear life and just ride this one out, because they're going to try to throw everything at this to try to make us, like, just listening to that 3.5-hour Dr. John gaslighting live where he threw everything at us and all these analogies, and all the analogies that he had, half of them were stalkers and abusers too. I mean, the Brad Pitt one was just horrible analogy, and they're just throwing everything at us, and we just need to hold on to the truth for dear life, because in this day and age there are so many people, and I think we're all so sick of this gaslighting and all these isms thrown at us that we're just over it, and we're not going to let it happen this time. And I mean, even Gigi's like, no, I'm not going with that narrative. This is what happened. This is the narrative. I want to stay out of it, but I'm not rewriting history for you. Right? And guys, I feel kind of passionate about this because I'm just tired of people like Lauren Matthias getting one over everybody and just getting a pass. And I think we all have a Lauren Matthias in our lives, or in our history, or in our future. And this will help us deal with these kind of people, in my opinion. And yeah.
Not now. But
no, yeah, no.
Point. I know I can see your face, because she had messaged me and said, I'm not going to be on long. And clearly there's like 11 million things here. So
I know it. And I did not plan to go through it all tonight. In fact, I had already known that you were probably going to just upload it too, because we're all just digging through this stuff, and the way that Sleuthy has it so organized, it kind of makes sense that somebody would just kind of read through, you know what I mean, without the commentary and stuff. So yeah. Have at it. Okay. I'll play Christina's. Okay. And then kind of go through some of these like visuals and like what she claims is evidence. So first off, there might be some people in chat who like have no idea what this situation is about or whatever. While I kind of get ready to pull up like a little summary, Jay, do you want to kind of share your initial thoughts when you first kind of stumbled on this? Because I know we talked about it too.
Sure. Thank you for asking. Initially, I felt really bad for her. I kind of felt like, her channel's really one of the more professional ones that, doesn't delve into drama. And I know that same thing was said on.
That's the thing that a lot of people are experiencing with Lauren too, is like, I would be devastated. I'm not going to lie. I would be devastated if I found out that after saying all this wonderful things about Gigi, that behind the scenes, she was really an asshole. I would be devastated, you guys. I wouldn't like it at all. And it would take me some time to readjust. And so I get it, because you do put people on pedestals that you respect. But I mean, in the live, they were trying to humanize her in so many ways, saying like, aren't you, haven't you made mistakes? And yeah, I have made mistakes and I have said things about people that I really regret. But once you realize that the universe works in a way that we're all pretty much connected, and you cannot go behind people's back for time after time after time and talk ish about them without it karma coming back to bite you. It just is what it is. And once you realize that that's the universal truth, that you can't do all these bad deeds. And yeah, you can, but don't do it with these 20-some-year-olds that you just meet. Pick some good friends that you can be snarky with together, that have your back, and you can like vent and do whatever you need to do, but you don't need to have a group text of mean girls where you just berate people behind their backs. That's wrong, right? There's a difference.
Alex Erickson's panel discussing the same thing, and that's basically how I looked at it. I was like, I took her for what she said, as the truth, because why wouldn't I? Because like I say, her channel doesn't go into drama ever. It's very fact based. It's not clickbaity. So I took her at face.
Notice she aligns herself with younger women, younger impressionable women, and then she has constant falling out with these people. And meanwhile, she talks ish about, it's a constant revolving door of ish, and people finally decided to air her dirty ish too. So I don't know. Sometimes you reap what you sow, and I don't doubt that Lauren and Dr. John are very stressed right now, but I just really feel that they've brought this on themselves, and then doubling down on it. It just makes people want to go harder and deeper into it all. So
it's value. But then I looked deeper into it and the other sides, and it kind of clicked, because like what was said, mentioning her son and saying, he shouldn't know about any of this, you know what I mean? And like I was saying to Amber, the only way he would know is if she's like, and I said this in Alex Erickson's chat, is if like she's been yelling about it in the house, if like manic about it, and that's just not right, you know what I mean? You don't put these things onto your kids, you know what I mean? I don't have any, but I know that from my own background that it's just not good to just have hysterics around young children, because look how he's taking it.
Right. It's not bullying. It's actually being a good friend and a good professional friend, warning people like you might want to stay. It's like a fine line you walk, though, warning people about other people, because you also don't want to look like the bitch, or I'm swearing too much. You also don't want to look like the jerk in the situation. So I swear when I get mad, so I gotta reel it in. And this kind of stuff really angers me, when there's a power imbalance, and there is an extreme power imbalance on so many levels with Lauren in this situation. It's not a stalking situation.
Because as per her own words, it's really affected him, so it's not a good thing.
And the thing that I think is important that I wanted like myself and Jay to kind of share, that at first we felt a certain ways, because that I think it kind of is the theme of like this whole situation is individuals, including the masses. Like when you have as many subs as she has, and you're going on channels that have 6-figure subs as well, like, that your message is reaching like the magnitudes. And it's like that saying, like, he who controls the media controls the narrative. It's like, if you come out and you have all these subs and you're going live for 9 hours, putting out like your side and your narrative and what you want everyone to kind of believe, and like prying on their emotions. Like, I think that Jay, myself, others involved in this, like including other large channels, I think that we've been and her subs emotionally manipulated, and Jay and I kind of like came out through the other side all in one day. Like, I think like we stumbled on it and then also saw through the bullshit like in one day. And then since then, I'm like, we need to make sure that people know like the timeline of these things, these events, because a lot of people have information wrong. And before I even started like looking through the spreadsheet that Sleuthy put together, I was talking to Shay Bonet. You guys might see her in chat and on channels she mods. I on Messenger. I just want to make sure I get this timeline right before I go live. Some people have no idea about this situation, some in chat. So I just want to make sure I can kind of summarize things before we dig into the spreadsheet. And I said, so when Lauren put the TPO on Christina, that was before CrimeCon, right? And she says yes. And then I said, okay, I want to get the timeline right. And I said, however, Lauren had said that she wasn't going to go to CrimeCon, right? And then Christina bought her ticket months prior. And then last minute, Lauren decided she wanted to go. And Lauren is from Hidden True Crime, in case those don't know. The respondent is Christina, but I might call her Christina this whole time. So I said, so who confronted who first at CrimeCon? Lauren went to a bar or restaurant that Christina was at, or no? And this is what Shay said. And I think this is like the best rundown. It's around like 4 minutes, not even.
Hey girl, I thought an audio would be easier. So basically, what happened was Lauren went and filed for this ex parte TPO against Christina. Somebody, according to the police on the camera, body cam footage at CrimeCon when they served Christina, said that their office was contacted a couple days before. We don't know by who just yet. So, on Thursday evening, I believe, is when Christina had already left and was at CrimeCon, and her husband was home, and he was served with the order. He sent a picture of it to Christina, and in the body cam, Christina talks about how she tried to reach out to the Aurora Police Department to get some guidance. She didn't hear back from them, so she goes to CrimeCon on Friday, and Lauren and them wait outside CrimeCon waiting for Christina to be served physically. And even the police said that she had to be physically served. So what happened that was in the declarations that was interesting was that Christina had purchased her tickets for CrimeCon back early of this year. Lauren was well aware of it because they had talked about it. And then Lauren wasn't going to go to CrimeCon. She's even said that to multiple people. And then getting closer to CrimeCon, she goes on her YouTube channel and makes an announcement that she's going to go. And she was just going to the awards because of the Delphi stuff. She didn't have a booth. She wasn't working, nothing of the sort. So Lauren basically used this to her advantage to trap Christina and make a fool out of her and try to get her arrested. And so, I mean, I think Christina's and her people's declarations kind of best state it, because Lauren left out a lot of holes. And even Joe Schmo, when he was on Queens, made comment that he had been with them that night, and him and Megan, because they were in Web Sleuths, they were the ones that were videotaping and taking pictures of Christina. So they were stalking Christina. And Joe Schmo said that they moved multiple times to get closer. And Queen and Jay were like on panel, and they go, get closer to what, Joe? And it was getting closer to Christina. And then in one of the declarations, a former Orange County officer told, I think it was Lindsay, one of the friends, that he said that you should probably be aware that you may be being stalked. And he pointed her out, and it was Grayson. And so Grayson had been like running around trying to like contact them, get close to them, acting really fucking creepy. So really the stalkers, in my opinion, after taking all of this shit in, were actually Grayson and Lauren. So, but I think like in terms of the best coverage I've seen.
So that was her summary for those who don't know the little bit of background. And Sleuthy, was there anything you wanted to add before we kind of get into Christina's declaration?
I agree with all that, but I also want to say that, and obviously my comment on the screen, but I also should have probably said that going into watching her 9-hour live, my only kind of interaction with her was when she copyright struck me.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara, asking 7069. Yes, if you guys could hit the like button. Today we're coming to you on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So thank you so much for reminding me to say that. And check to see if you're subscribed too. I would love to have you as a subscriber on all of my platforms. And
that was when she did the interview. She did one interview with Jerry Holman from the Delphi case. And I actually want to say that that was like the first interview that he did after the sentencing.
So this is where Lucy is talking about Lauren struck her channel.
And it was like maybe an hour long. I did 2 lives doing an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I'll give her an hour and a half. 2 like 3-hour lives, maybe even 4 with Teresa to cover an hour and a half interview. That's how often we were stopping for commentary. 90% of the commentary was entirely about Jerry Holman. and she copyright struck me for both.
Wow. For
Yeah.
fair use, which
It was.
is protected under free
Did you
speech,
appeal it,
etc.
Sleuthie?
But wait, there's more.
I did the like the counter claim or whatever.
I hate
And
counterclaim because you've got to give your full name and your birth date and your social security to people who don't even like you to begin with. They're striking you. And so if you don't want to do that, then you got to hire a lawyer and go behind them and do it. So, I mean, it's a real,
he went to a copyright claims board to file a complaint there, which you can do instead of filing in the federal courts.
Mm-hmm.
And it will basically keep the strike there. So I got it.
Through all of that, just so somebody couldn't use like 2 few-minute clips of her work. That's who Lauren Matthias is.
I was like, I work full time. I am a single mother. I literally have no time to be sitting here looking up case law, writing up. Like, I just don't care enough. Like, the people who were going to watch it were watching it live.
Yeah.
And I don't have the time or the patience. I'm not going to go back and forth with her, but I did pull it up while you guys were talking. And she literally, it's funny because the things that she was saying in that 9-hour live, like, yeah, criticize me and criticize my work all you want. I don't care. And I just thought that's just simply not true, because you put that in the complaint, was that you were annoyed that I was criticizing you.
What?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Wait, back the milk truck up. Back it completely up, put it in park, and take the keys out the ignition. Copyrighted material. If you're doing a copyright complaint, okay, what you want, is to say this person took my original content, my work, and they did not use transform. It has nothing to do with criticism, because as you know, YouTube was founded on criticism and critique and opinion. That's, well, I mean, it started out something else initially, but it was very short, and then it became YouTube. Why?
That's bullshit.
Would you ever put, I don't like what she said. Get out of here, Laura.
Right.
Now, Laura, I tried to give you every damn benefit of the doubt, ma'am. And here you go doing my girl Sleuthie Goosey dirty.
Yeah.
And you know what's even dirtier is, I'm sorry.
Struck my channel recently. Do you guys remember? I see him a lot over on Facebook. He's the redhead and he's really tall and he's got a little person for a mom. And they do a lot of those. He does a lot of, he's a lot over on Facebook, but maybe he's over on TikTok too. But he's that kid. But he used to live in front of the Cecil Hotel, and I did an Elisa Lam video. And was it haunted? Was it a supernatural story or not? And I used a clip of his paranormal investigating across from the Cecil Hotel, and it was like a 2-minute clip or something like that, and we talked over it the whole time, and he struck me. And in my dispute, I was like, I am a little channel here. I'll probably get like 200 views on this video. I'll probably make $1.50, and he wants to take half of it to share this for using something that will forward his channel on probably further than mine. It's just ridiculous. I want it, spoiler alert, but it's a pain in the butt, because then it gets taken out of the algorithm for 2 weeks or so, because it's like a 2-week process, and then you've got to wait, and then it loses its momentum, and they've all but buried it. So
Sorry, but now that I'm hearing this, like the fact that she went on her channel and criticized Olivia Goncalves' victim speech. And like she's over here copy striking channels who are just criticized like legally and fairly, right?
Criticizing a police officer, a public official.
I shouldn't have said this, but I know that he just bought this home in the Hollywood Hills. I said, I guess you got your home in the Hollywood Hills and you need my $1.50 too. I've been a little spicy lately.
Yeah, just very unhinged.
So it's not long. I'll tell you what she wrote. She wrote that I, on my YouTube channel, played our entire video on her YouTube channel over 2 separate live streams. She took our content, which we wrote, directed, and produced entirely on our own from our YouTube channel, Hidden True Crime, which, what do you mean you wrote, directed, produced? Like, you were doing an interview. So did you script the entire interview? Like, was his answers scripted as well? That the whole thing was like written by you like a book?
Like Dateline? Girl.
Yeah. And I said, she said, and then played it on her own channel so the viewers would watch her channel instead of ours. It is identical to ours, except she talked out loud while streaming our video so that she could claim it was commentary, when in fact it was not commentary, and certainly not educational, as proven by her choice to title the videos Pig Roast Part 1 and Part 2, which I feel like anybody that has any kind of sense of humor would have knew exactly what that joke was about. It had nothing to do with Lauren.
Right.
And encouraged her viewers to...
Hilarious that she would do a thing called Pig Roast. I wasn't even sure if I should put like the BITCHs on my thumbnail, so I put the percentage mark in there. I watched a YouTube thing on whether we could swear or not, and they basically said you can swear, but don't swear too much, and really it's at their discretion. And for true crime channels, that the ones that use the trigger words like the M word and the grape word and stuff like that, like we can say it as long as the content isn't about that. But I feel like at any moment they could twist it into anything they want, because that's what YouTube does. So I try to limit myself with it. So it's like a really slippery slope that we dance around here over on YouTube.
Come to her channel so that they could watch our video. Then it says a description of harm suffered and relief sought. The harm is that viewers were not watching the video on our keep in mind, my channel has 12,000 people, 15,000 people. She has over 250,000 people. Okay.
Oh my God.
Viewers were not watching the video on our channel. Rather, they were watching the video on the Sleuthy Goosey channel instead.
Right.
Not only was the Sleuthy Goosey channel stealing our work, she was also encouraging hatred by titling her live stream of our work Pig Roast and spouting harmful and false narratives about hidden true crime and the subject of the interview video. This led to many online narratives and posts being created about hidden true crime that were simply untrue. The relief we are seeking is that the streams of our video interview not be posted on the internet again. And
wow.
I was talking about the posts that were made that were simply untrue and encouraged hatred was not the fact that I did the streams, because the streams were taken down basically immediately.
Right, because
It was
of
that
copyright
she
claim.
copyright struck me, and then people were making posts about the fact that she copyright struck it.
It's so crazy to me. I think she doesn't I don't think she claims to know all about law, but I don't think she's read any of the Constitution. People have civil liberties. People have the right to criticize and
no, they don't, because in Dr. John's 3.5 hour whatever, they cited stalking laws from the UK. Well, the UK is definitely not the United States. It definitely is not, because look at the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing. They won over in the UK, lost in the United States.
To critique and to give commentary on things, and what you did was complete fair use. Her claims are completely bogus, and it's an abuse of the process, and it's the same pattern with what we have now. It's a pattern. It's an abuse of the process, because
I did that with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I blacked her out, and I refused to click on her and give her even a penny of my whatever. So it's really smart to do that. Just find your favorite content creator and just follow them, and don't give them any more money, because it's so disgusting to see their hidden minions just digging deep and giving them all this payday for this nonsense.
Doesn't like something or something someone might say, it doesn't give her this power to where she can wave a wand and the law is on her side. And then when it doesn't work out in her favor, because it won't, because these are laws, protections for a reason, she plays the victim, and it's not on.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. Wow. Because the way that was worded that you just read really makes it seem like you guys were cyberbullying, just tearing her apart in your live stream.
When I tell you, and I would be totally honest, because now I'll say whatever I want to criticize Lauren, because now I have reasons to criticize Lauren, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
90
That's actually a great point. And somebody else made that point about the amount of hours they've spent going over this on other people's channels, and a total of maybe 1 hour of TikToks compared to 13 hours of gaslighting, if not more, because they've gone from channel to channel behind paywalls. It's just, but they're the victims. Well, they victimize all these people, but we're supposed to be forgiving people, because everyone makes mistakes and everyone talks ish about people. Dr. John, I think, doesn't know the full story. I don't think she's given him the full story, because Lauren looks extremely guilty during these lives. She looks really guilty to me, and he looks like he's coming unglued.
5, if not like 98%. I remember calling them hidden germs. That's where that came from. But other than that, all of our criticism was to Jerry Holman. If we criticized her at all, it was that she was asking questions that A, either had already been asked over and over and over again over the course of 8 years, or B, she wasn't asking questions that were like, or follow-up questions that were to make him expand on the things that he was saying. And it was all just very surface level. But other than that, the entire criticism was about Jerry Holman. Just like now we're doing the depositions. The entire criticism is about Jerry Holman.
That's what makes it even more funny.
Now I kind of don't want to do the whole reading of this because I don't need her, you know.
Well, these aren't hers.
Right.
Like these are not her documents. They
Yeah,
are
but
the
can't
court.
she? I know, but look, here is Christina saying some things, right? And because I would read that. I would read those.
I'm having the nerve today to be mad that it was released to the public that they were doing that. Like, that was behind our paywall. Thanks, paywall subscribers. It was part of all the shaming that we got in that 3.5 hour clip, or 3.5 hour edited whatever it was.
Explorations, and I would give commentary. I cover trials.
Yeah.
Now, do I fly my ass all over Hell's Half Acre to cover them? And no, I do not. I ain't trying to do all that business. I sit with my audience and we talk about what's going on in the moment live. Okay. That's what I do. I do other stuff too, but you guys know. Anywho, that's not the point. I don't need. I don't know. I have to think about it.
I don't. What
She can't.
people have already read? Like, I mean, Jay for Justice or whatever, and Melly. Everyone's.
I know.
kind of
So now
reading.
I'm sort of thinking like,
I
okay,
think the thing for me is like the Mean Girl stuff is just what I'm latching on to entertain myself, so that I don't think about the stuff that's really burning my chaps about her using the legal system and causing real harm to victims. That really, being an ex-social worker and helping many people that were truly stalked, it really burns my butt that she is mucking up the legal system, and she works in the legal system knowing about, I don't know, it's just like, I guess I just am using the mean girl stuff to put humor into it for me, because if I don't find humor in a situation, I'll burn myself up with it. Like, I get so mad at injustices, and I think that's why I cover true crime. That and I'm a Gen Xer, so that's how we deal with our stuff, is we put drama and laughter into stuff, so we don't cry, because I'd rather laugh than cry about stuff.
because it's already been read,
Gives me a migraine.
what would be the even point of me even talking about it? Anyway, to begin with, I'll think about
Yes,
it.
this
Really,
stuff that if I let it bother me too much, I would cry about, because this is societal stuff that makes me like want to become a hermit and not go out into society. People that will use this and like call like rape when it didn't happen, or call abuse when it didn't happen, or say I'm being stalked when it's not, when you really feel like you're being defamed. And defamation suits are really expensive, so you're going to go the stalker route, and that's mucking up. Sorry, somebody help me down off my soapbox. I know you guys are all up there with me. I don't need to be saying all this. I'm sorry. I could go on rants, but yes, the real issue really makes me mad.
what I need to be doing is finishing those videos, and I need to stop finding new and exciting rabbit holes to go down to keep me from doing what I'm supposed to be doing, aka procrastinating. So
I can relate.
Yeah.
This all just popped up. I wouldn't have even had anything to do with it had it not been for the fact that she spent the entire 9 hours.
What do you think about all of this? Have you been following it? Do you want to maybe do a live together about it? I'm going to be wrapping this one up in a little bit, but if you want to, or if any of you guys want to do a panel with me, just email me. My email is going across the bottom, or Amber, you have my text. You can text me, because I would love to talk to other people about this. Right now, I'm going on other people's panels that have already happened, and, just to try to, and talking to you guys, because I just, like, I'm a dog with a bone, because this kind of stuff angers me. This injustice really angers me, and what she's doing just isn't fair. And I'm glad Christina has so much support.
Hours.
You can't ignore it.
Yeah, just telling her
It is
side, which
everywhere.
annoyed me.
right.
Yes.
And then on top of it, once I heard the court audio and I heard what the what the judge said, I was like, she literally in 9 whole hours did not mention that they had already had a hearing and that the judge had said that to her. So it became quite clear that somebody probably said to her, listen, girl, this is not going to go down the way that you think it's going to. You're going to have to testify. It's going to be in front of everybody. Like, I think if she thought that she had a legitimate case and was probably going to win, that she would not have cared if Law and Crime was there to film it.
I agree. I think if she knew that was the case, she'd want them there because it would favour her whole cause and gain more sympathy. Like what her live did. You clearly were too wise for that, but for me, it got me. She did a number on me. You know what I mean? That was an easy mark. It felt like, and I feel like a fool. But I guess it's a lesson in learning. Always look at both sides. You know what I mean?
I'm still waiting for that judge to do her ruling. So. But I am going to do a Sarah Boone today too. We're going to talk about Sarah Boone getting booted out of possible Bible study, and I'm going to share my text that I did with Lana. She was the one that Sarah was going to give her kidney to.
Even if someone is getting emotional about something, they might be lying. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I know
she might be upset about something else that she doesn't want exposed more than she's upset that this girl's making these TikToks. Which this was the first TikTok that got sent to me, and I was like, question mark, like in response, because I'm like, well, why do I care?
Little mic, seriously. How is somebody who's holding this dainty little mic
in a car?
In a car? What is she? I mean, I said it the other night on Allie's, and I'm going to say it again. These TikToks were not created for the general public. Christina has a TikTok with 50,000 subscribers, or what do you call them? Followers, 50,000 followers. If the TikToks were intended to expose Lauren to the public, she would have used that account. She could have just switched. She could have switched the accounts. And here's the other thing.
What I've been saying, she had 2 accounts, and she said she felt like she didn't think all of her art people would appreciate it or understand what she was talking about. So she created a separate account, and she separated business from personal. And it's not her trying to be sneaky or, be whatever, like Dr. John and Lauren Turd are trying to make us think. It's just not.
You can always take your content off of TikTok. So even though it was an art channel, or really about her work, she had a good following. And all she would have had to do was post one expose and then use that one expose to direct people to this other account. That's it. That's all. It's very simple. Everybody knows how to do it. I have a GED. I know how to do it. Okay. It ain't that deep.
Yeah.
I think that these TikToks were really for Lauren herself. I think what Christina's message was, the majority of them. Now, I will say I did not agree with the story about her brother being told. I think that went too far. I think it was extra petty. I think it was extra nasty, and it was foul, and she shouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it.
Totally
I just
agree.
agree with
I
it.
agree.
But
I agree, but she can.
She can.
point.
It's not illegal.
It's not a crime.
That's it.
Right.
Correct. It's not illegal.
Not illegal. It's not being a good friend. When my friendships end, I don't know if it's my social work ethics or whatever, but I rarely talk about my ex-friends, and I hold sacred a friendship, and I'm not going to tell you my personal stuff, but I keep saying here with Christina, I think Christina was just so sick of seeing it happen time and time again, because we just read a statement from Gigi where she found out in the spring it was happening to her, right?
Behind the barn, there's a thicket. If you listen late at night, you'll hear a cricket, and it sings a song, and I know the words.